dudes and dudettes. It's Johnny Ringo from the Heikadelic Show. We'll be on Monday night. Special guest, Leon of the Lazies. He's going to give us some updates on what the band's been up to, that sort of thing, and talk about his project, Bandwagon, which is just motoring. So we'll see you on Monday night, 9:30, on the Heikadelic Show, on all the socials. So let's get dirty at 9:30 with Leon of the Lazies.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Here we are once again, boys.
It's Monday night.
Fuck yeah.
The Australian Dreamers in the house.
Welcome to the Heikadelic Show.
Thank you. This is my third time now or second time?
Yeah. Oh, shit. Well, we did
third
that big
time?
interview with you guys at the music hall there, I guess, last year when you
Yeah.
played.
Yeah.
And then you've been on here twice, I think. And then did you do it, is it 3 times now? Fucking right.
Let's call it 3 times. I like that. Three times I'm lucky.
Geez, we're going to be a regular soon.
I know. Why not?
Love it.
So everything been good, man?
Yes, it's been great. Busy and good, and trying to navigate COVID like everybody else. But yeah, it's been pretty positive other than that. There's lots of positivity that's come out of COVID as well as how tough it's been, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So, Leon, not to get into the whole COVID thing so much, but I do have a question. Apparently, Australia is like, what, COVID free? They're trying to figure that one out.
Pretty well.
Do you have something to do with that? Like,
I think they stuffed it all in the kangaroo pouches and they all hopped away and it's all good.
Right.
Yeah, so they have like one case
down.
or something. Yeah.
What's the song? Tie me kangaroo down. Sport.
Rolf Harris.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty well free of COVID now because
Yeah, but they're pretty
it's an
stringent
island.
down there, aren't they? They really, really hammered down on everything.
I think it's because they're playing the Lazies album, you know.
It's gotta be.
We'd hope.
The Lazies kicked COVID's ass in Australia.
So
That's
Leon just queued up with a glass of wine. So George, why don't you spin this song?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds
Everybody
like...
got a drink?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
All
cheers
right.
another Heikadelic Show, boys.
All right.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
do it right.
So let's get right into it.
What's that song?
That's
That's our drinking song.
our drink.
Oh, right. Oh,
Anytime you hear that, you got to drink.
That's right.
oh okay.
Yeah,
We
it's
we
we
don't
got to give
play it
credit
enough.
to the banana splits for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
good stuff.
Love it.
So, Leon, let's talk actually about Bandwagon and what you got going on now. Because I know last time you were on here, since then there's been a lot of big changes, and you've got some pretty exciting things going on. So let's hear all about it.
Yeah, I mean, well, Bandwagon for me has been the positive to come out of COVID. It's given me something to do and a goal to sort of achieve every day. Essentially, it's about sort of bringing aspiring acts to the forefront of the music industry. I know it's difficult when you're starting out. So we're offering mentorship with sort of artists that are off the road at the moment. And those artists are really, embedded and in the initiative. They love it. So why not? You get on there and you can talk to somebody who's been there and done it. I wish I could have had that advice. So that's what we're doing. And from there, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's starting a little scene, which I'm liking. There's a lot of songs that now we're dealing with that we're like, oh, that's a really good song. So we're taking them through the studio and whatnot. And now it's kind of coming down to I'm also sort of signing bands to be their manager. I figure that if I'm putting pieces in place for people, why shouldn't I manage them, right? So
100%.
Call me crazy.
Now, is there? I remember you and I were chatting one night, and have you got the record label kind of hooked into this yet, or is that still?
Well, that's sort of still like something that's developing because that requires lots of money.
Yeah, I hear you.
But for sure, like for instance, I'm working with a guy right now. He was with Warner for 15 years. He was with Sony for 7 years. We were friends. He actually worked with the Lazies at Warner. He really likes what's going on. So, you know, for instance, we had a meeting tonight with one of our bands that we really want to manage and represent. So that kind of assistance and coaching from him is priceless. And there's just a lot of stuff going on. I have a band in town from BC at the moment called the Fallaways, who are working with Cone from Sum 41, the bass player. He's producing. It's sounding amazing. So like I've kind of paired, you know, like I say, like that aspiring act to somebody who's already established, and it's wonderful what you can see come out of it. And why shouldn't that happen? I don't think there's enough of a bridge between sort of established act and somebody who dreams of being in those shoes one day. Hey, you should work together. There's an idea.
Absolutely.
That's very cool. Very cool.
Leon, I got a couple of questions about Bandwagon to start. The from a artist standpoint or band, like how does everybody, there's the artist development, but is there like a cost for that? How do you engage the band? Like how does that work?
So yeah, how are you, Ringo? Nice to see you. That's a great question straight out of the gate.
You know, I'm all about money, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, like it's definitely a paid service. It really is in its early stages, its infant stages. So basically, the way I'm justifying it is that the mentor will have a fee, whether that's like something that's negotiated to do an entire song or whether that's per hour or whatever it is. There's a bottom line for that expertise, right? So yes, there is a fee involved in what we do, but it's also like I really hate and want to change the stigma that artists just feel that things are free. They're not.
I agree.
I get used to that. Because in order to sort of gain any kind of progression in your career path, whether it's university fees or a trade and the fees that are associated with that, or whatever it is, I think that kind of guidance should also be monetized and valued in that respect. And we all know as people in the music industry or artists ourselves, and I grew up through an era of artists, you know, there was no monetization to it, and it was almost like, well, a plumber can come fix your pipes and your shitter, but you know, you're gonna have to pay him. But you know, if there's some kind of transaction of artistic kind, it's like, there's no fee with that. So
I 100% agree, because I mean, and like being in a support band, right? So when we do a show, we'll cough up 50 to 100 tickets. A lot of bands won't do diddly squat, or they'll come in with a very, very basic minimum, right? I mean, I've had shows where we've done in excess of 100, almost 200 tickets. So, and then you hear a support band saying, oh, well, you know what? I shouldn't have to pay to play. Fuck you. You do. In fact, if it's on a decent stage with a decent opening band and you're paying your dues, get your ass out and hump some tickets. And that's all for my music friends out there.
Yeah, right? That's right.
So,
hump some tickets.
So if you feel free to challenge that if you'd like, you know, it's Johnny Ringo on
hump
Facebook.
Some groupies. Oh,
exactly.
That's right.
But
culture.
You know what? You're absolutely right. And Leon, if you spin it back to when Canada had a music union, and it still sort of does, I guess. The US certainly does. We kind of did it to ourselves, right? All of these garage bands that went out and played for booze. I mean, we all wanted to get out and play.
I've been there.
All right. I can tell you, when I was 15, I was the only kid walking around fucking high school with $500 in my pocket because I was a paid musician. But the industry's changed, right?
I mean, I'm not really in the live side of things, to be honest, except for playing in my own band. So, but I do understand what you're saying because I've cutting my teeth. Of course, there's a responsibility to sell some tickets for the promoter, and bands that really want to excel and gain that relationship, you should be doing something.
You got to build your fan base. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But in terms of sort of the mentoring side of Bandwagon, just to iron that fully out, I think it's like any kind of tuition. If you want to, for example, there's people like Dougie Elliott, who we all know and love from The Rock, on the initiative. And if a band wants to know exactly how to do something at radio, well, there's somebody who's been in the game for eons. Not to say he's an old guy, but
Wow,
Dougie, I love Dougie, but you know what I mean. Like that advice when I was trying to get a song to radio would be just invaluable to me. And if it cost you $150 for 2 hours, say, of picking his brain, I think that's a valuable service, right?
Absolutely.
100%.
And like I always use this kind of analogy. It's like no one wanted to walk, so they started taxis, and you'd go and you'd pay someone to drive you there. So then they went one step further and they created Uber, so you could just call it on your phone because it's a service. Now, who's saying, "Oh, I should get that ride for free"? Where's that culture? Because realistically, you could say, "Oh, you're only just taking me down the road, mate. Fuck it, I'm not paying for it."
Yeah, I find that the culture around music and musicians is absolutely horrendous. Like everybody's under the assumption that musicians and music should be free, and it's so fucking much bullshit. Because what people don't understand is the amount of money it costs to be a musician. I'm not even talking a musician that's even of any good, just to get your gear to get started. And then you start adding in, the bigger shows and the touring and the recording. And it's fucking astronomical.
Oh, and it's absolutely crazy to see the bill of taking the lazies around Europe. I'm like, holy shit.
No
we
doubt.
could have bought a ranch. Had a room each and fucking called it a day.
Well, you guys take a whole brewery with you too, do you not?
Pretty much.
So, I mean,
I know I would.
Skinwalker Ranch now
sheer
owned by the
determination, fellas.
Right.
It takes sheer determination, and that's what I believe.
100%.
In,
Well, like one of the things that Terry and I did, way back, I guess. We were getting T-shirts I was getting T-shirts for my band. He was getting some for his, but he was doing a show, and a lot of bands will just charge cost for T-shirts, and it's like, no, charge at least $20, sell yourself a bit. And so he ended up selling a lot of T-shirts, but you know what?
Actually,
we do it. We sometimes do it to ourselves. I'm not going to put myself in the we category because you know what? Show me the cash, right? And because honestly, if you put together a good show, you've been rehearsing, you're a tight band, you got decent tunes, or at least in your head you think they're decent, then that's great. Okay. But if you suck, you're not gonna get the return. So you better boatload a bunch of chicks to support your show because they're gonna attract more people, right? But you got to work at it. It's work.
Ringo, that kind of comes down to the bandwagon sort of initiative, though. Like, a lot of younger bands, they've got talent and they've got drive, but they don't understand the whole songwriting aspect,
right?
Just yet. I'm working with guys right now that they've got the look, and girls, but they've got the looks, they've got the talent. It takes a long time to understand the songwriting process. So unless there's some kind of guidance there and some kind of initiative like mine that's going to really say, hey, fucking yes, it'll cost you, say, $500. Well, that's your problem. But what you're going to get out of this is you're going to realize how the song you've sent me is going to be deconstructed and reconstructed in a way that you're going to see night and day.
Yeah.
And unless they're taught that, how will they learn?
So
Leon,
sorry, go ahead, Ringo.
No, I was going to say it would probably a good time to get George to kick off the trivia.
Sure.
We'll take a little break.
Yeah,
and
I just
get that rolling.
wanted to add one thing. You're talking about all these bands and everybody. It's not like everybody has a voice of an angel, so they could do well, right, Ringo?
Absolutely. That's my point, right? I mean, Leon's in the class, so I mean, we get it, but I mean, if you were like, anyway, you get it.
Ringo,
we got it.
Ringo,
you
Leon's
got
not
a
in the
voice
class
of an angel,
narcissistic pricks.
then yeah, if you're sitting in the pews listening to the voice of the angel, put something in the collection plate, right? So
Yeah, there
Right.
you go.
all right,
So let's do
Georgie,
a bit
what
of
do you got for
trivia.
us?
All right.
Let's
I
do
will
a bit of
start off-
trivia.
We'll start off with a lovely backside. I've actually got a trivia question, especially customized for Leon. I'll do that in a little while.
Awesome.
Right.
Cool.
So, all right. There's the album. It's a double album.
It's a double album.
I think it came out-
I don't see double just yet. I only see single.
Yeah,
Start
you and me
drinking.
both.
Start
I'm not
drinking.
drunk enough yet.
there's 2 discs in here.
Right.
There you go.
All right, that's
Yeah,
fair.
when you say album, a lot of people don't know what you're talking about. Isn't that
Yeah.
funny?
Not so much anymore, actually. Just albums have outsold CDs for the first time in history, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, actually,
I
when
don't
I
know,
was
that's-
growing up, when I was
that's
growing up
kinda cool.
in England, we called them LPs.
That's right.
Yes.
When I was
Yeah.
a kid. Yeah.
All right, so
anyway,
that's,
we'll
that's,
leave that.
that's the
Which-
backside of the album. Does anybody know the band? That's the
Yeah.
question. If you're new to the show,
You can make. We don't, have we
And do you
got an
know
email
what-
address? We've got an email address as well, haven't we? Or we've
Yeah.
not set that up yet.
yeah, we got an email address and other
Yeah, so-
stuff.
Which is what's the email address again?
Oh, Ringo's working on it. I can see this. There we go. Oh no, we got some comments.
I'll get the email up.
Derek.
Sorry, guys. Yep.
Anytime you can talk, you can learn from.
So, George,
Yeah.
tell everybody what LP stands for. 'Cause I
Long
know this.
player.
Long
player.
play. Yeah.
Wow, I was way off. I thought it might have been like long penis or something. I was way off.
Yeah, of course you go that way.
The show wasn't in the dirt soon enough for me. I'm sorry.
Well,
I had to take it down.
Well, in England, they didn't call them 45s. They
No?
call them they call them. This is true. They call them 7 inches.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Wow.
7 inch.
Wow.
Yeah.
A
Band
three-quarter.
would have a 7-inch single in the charts.
So,
People in our
Leon,
hands are up. Yeah, we got it. We got it.
7 inches. You know I'm lying with the 1 inch. We always give ourselves 1 extra.
That's right.
there-
It's not.
Yeah,
It's
there
not
you go.
small.
From the
it's just
floor.
worn out
From the
from
floor.
use.
Right? So, Kathy has a question for Leon. What are the various mentors that Bandwagon have today?
That was going to be my
Right.
question before we went
Yeah.
to George. So good one.
Yeah,
Well,
fair
we
enough.
got 30 comments here. I got to get through now. So this is
Essentially,
heating
guys which I love is like John from Monster Truck, John Harvey. We've got
Yeah.
Ryan Roxy, who's Alice Cooper's guitarist of probably like 23, 24 years. Unofficially, there's Cone from Sum 41 who's working with a band right now. We have Maddie from the Lazies, me from the Lazies. We've got Kenda from a band called Creep Show. She's a great singer guitarist that they tour
I
everywhere.
actually know that band. Yeah, great band.
Off the top of my head, on the industry side of things, we've got my manager Chris from Germany, who's well affiliated through all Europe and whatnot. Dougie Elliott from The Rock. We've got a Scotty Baker, who's more videography, sort of on the music video side of things. There's a whole range of stuff, but if you do want to find out more, it's bandwagonworkshops.com, and you will see all the mentors. There's business mentors, guys like from White Sky Australia. We've got an Australian branch as well, so Scotty Owen from The Living End, Hamish Rosser from Wolfmother.
Oh,
So
fuck, I
there's
love that band.
Yeah, man, there's a bunch of people just like loving the idea, ready to mentor and ready to work someone who's ready to take next steps, you know.
Nice.
next
So
level.
how did you ever get a manager from Germany?
So Chris is my manager. He manages the Lazies and a bunch of other acts over that side of the world, and he was more than influential in sort of signing us with X-Ray Touring out of the UK. With Adam Saunders, he's like the rock guy out of that agency.
Okay.
They conspired to get us on all these European festivals and stuff like that. So yeah, they're really FKP Scorpio. Bernie from there is affiliated with my manager. So I mean, we all know it's a small industry, and once you get an act that really sort of shines, people want to know about it, I guess. So yeah. So Chris,
So, Leon,
Chris was like, "Yeah, I want to be involved."
so is it really like, okay, you guys have really kick-ass songs, right? In the songwriting process, we've talked about that, I think, last time you were here, but you guys sound great, you work hard, stage presence, all of that. So with all that being said, there's a lot of bands out there with that, obviously, and you're coaching them, but a band that's really working hard, what does it take to break out? Is it to get on that tour bus with a bigger headlining act, or on a tour or a festival? I mean, where does it all start? Or does it start? Well, I mean, you could kickstart it obviously for them, but how, a band anywhere on the planet right now looking to really take it to next level without Bandwagon. I'm talking about, like, where do they have to get involved? Obviously, playing at little clubs is not going to do it.
Combination. Obviously, it's like 2020 now, so social media is massive. So they've got to be super active in that and sort of make an impact in that domain, and that's difficult now because of the saturation. It's just crazy, Like,
so what's your favorite social media? Is it Instagram, Facebook?
Well, I like Facebook, but I'm a bit older. All the young ones are in the Instagram and TikTok and all that shit. But TikTok's a bit weird because it's just like, it's kind of like a cookie cutter of entertainment.
Yeah, just quick little videos of bullshit.
I think that if you're a young act cutting your teeth, you have to have good songs. You have to have great social media presence. Obviously, when COVID pisses off, you need a great live show and a good attitude. And I think that things will come your way.
So what can you tell Terry and Mr. Ringo here what they could do next to get their bands on that level?
Pick the guitar back up and play again. Start.
Because I want to go with you guys to Europe, man. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Well, like Derek's asking the question here, have you played Wacken?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, they did actually. I saw that. Yep.
It was an incredible day. I've never seen so many rock and rollers in one place. It was insane. And we got to play to probably, I reckon, 20,000 people. It was nuts. Nice. It was so good. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, we know a few bands like
boy, did we have a couple of bevies after that show.
I bet.
We got lost. We couldn't find our bus. And it took us. But we got turned away at a checkpoint that I thought was the right checkpoint. No one wanted to go with drunk Leon, but I was determined.
Imagine that.
Then we got back there, and I was like, I told ya. And we were still the first there.
Did you ever toss eggs at a country and western tour bus, Leon?
Pardon?
Have you ever tossed raw eggs at a country and western tour bus?
Once or twice.
I hear this story. Ed still tells this story to this day. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm supposed to be more grown up now.
I find that hard to believe. Because I partied with you recently. That's not true.
No. I don't know.
Right on. Okay, so back to Bandwagon then. How do bands submit stuff to you? Are you guys always scouring the planet for the next best act? Because obviously you haven't, because I haven't gotten any invite. So
that's why he said they're scouring looking for the best acts.
How do they get to you? Do they flip you their latest and greatest CD? What happens?
That's generally how it happens. And I honestly believe through this initiative, like whatever next step you're ready to take, there's always some, I hope there's always somebody there or some advice to give to get you to that. So it's a case-by-case scenario. Some people's music might be further along. Some people's might need a bit more development. But generally, like you can get in touch through the website and all that sort of stuff, bandwagonworkshops.com. But, they flick demos and you discuss the demos, and that's the whole process. You start working your way through what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to put my CD in this little bag here, and
just
maybe
throw it out when it gets to you.
Maybe $1,000, and we'll see what happens. See if I get a response.
Unsolicited mail. I love it.
Right, there you go.
There might be a dick pic in there too, so just be careful.
Whatever's going to work. Terry, you got a bunch.
I can't send dick pics. You know why I can't send dick pics? because I have the lazy tattooed there. So if I'm holding my cock, it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
Did you ever try using your left hand?
Sorry?
Did you ever try using your left hand?
Yeah, that's the one I use.
All right.
when he's sending dick pics anyways.
So Brandon's kind of asking the same thing. How can we stand out on social media? Face tattoos? Should I switch to rap? Okay, that's a little bit sarcastic because I like rap.
That's awesome.
We had this awesome kid on. You might want to look at. He's in the hip hop.
He knows
world.
I'll tell you right now. He knows.
I know Brandon. Yeah.
Well,
no, not Brandon.
What was his name?
No, we'll talk. We could talk offline, but he's. I don't know. I wouldn't say he's a struggling artist because his parents are writing the music, but yeah. Leon, yeah, you probably
Oh yeah, guy. He knows the whole family. That's actually the first time I met Leon was out at their house. So
Leon, how did you come up with the name the Lazies? You probably would ask that 1,000 times, but
Lazy.
Honestly, it was so long ago. It was Matt's band Lazy Sundays. We were always referred to as the Lazies. We liked it, but then we tried for a bunch of other names and nothing was really sticking. So we went with that, which is a completely fucking sterile answer. But if we get asked that in radio interviews, I guess over the years I've just said because Matt's a lazy root. And that's
okay. I thought it might be something like that.
No,
that's how he came out with it.
I completely understand because you tried to get Motor City Maniacs, and of course it was already taken. So I get it.
Yeah,
I'd find that hard to believe.
Oh, well, whatever.
Another question I had for you is like, where was the location of Nothing But Trouble when you did that video?
Oh yeah,
kick-ass video that if people haven't seen it, they should check it out. It's brilliant.
Yeah, for sure.
That was so the club is the Tiki Bar at the Bovine. It's a bar in Toronto. And then the alleyway scene is just like pretty well on Queen Street West. Okay. It's like the big sort of like graffiti alley, so you can just walk down
right. Yeah.
And it's really nice stuff down there. So it's not like stupid tags,
And that's not the only video you guys shot in Toronto in one of the bars, because I know you guys also shot one of your. I guess it'd be your latest video. I'm trying to think.
Like latest, music video. I guess Little Miss Crazy. We shot at Terry Cola's.
Yeah,
Terry's beautiful out there. Like, and mind you, like all these venues are shut now, so my heartfelt warmth goes out to it all, man, because it's.
My audio's gone.
Now
I'll be back. I can't hear anything.
Fair enough. So, so that did Cherry Cola's announce they were closing? I'd heard rumors. I hope that's not true.
I haven't.
They haven't, right? Nothing's been okay. Good. Maybe that was just something that was a possibility they were worried about. Because I've never been there, but I've seen so many like your video and stuff. It looks like a great spot.
Yeah, like Cherry Cola's is awesome. It's really weird. Like I've lived in Toronto 4 years now, and not being able to go to these bars just on the random, like what's tonight? Monday,
that's one of the best parts about living in Toronto.
Oh, exactly.
Normally,
you go down to Cherry's, Bovine, the Horseshoe, Hideout, Orbit Rooms now closed. I think the mod clubs announced they're closing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a great spot too. I love the mod club. I was there for a show. A buddy of mine played there actually, and it was a great night. Yeah.
So Leon,
I don't know what the answer's gonna be.
Somebody asked a question. Derek actually asked, and Derek and Kathy run our fan page that we just recently launched. So, and Derek plays in a band as well. So he's always asking bands, where can we get your merch, right?
No, we've actually. So Derek's band, you've actually worked with the House of Haunt.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah.
Derek's the drummer. Yeah.
Nice. like where can they buy our merch?
Lazy's
The
merch,
Lazy's, or
yeah.
where they buy their own merch?
know where they could buy your merch. People wanted to know where to get your merch, is what he's asking.
From our website. So yeah, laziesband.com.
Laziesband.
TheLaziesBand.com. We couldn't get the Lazies because there's some fucking domain squatting piece of shit out there with thelazies.com. So
Yeah.
if you're that person, fucking come at me.
Yeah, we'll make a show out of it too. It'll be brilliant.
How's Bobby? How's Bobby chiming in here? You're allowed back into the bovine? The answer is no.
That's the bovine sex club, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only 1.5 million views later, but I'm not allowed back. Whatever.
Wow, that must have a good story.
Rock and roll.
I kind of want to hear the story now.
That must be a good story.
No.
Oh, come on.
Oh, that if Leon's not willing to talk about it, it's a bad story. I'm going to hear that another time then off the record.
It's yeah. It's just, I'll just get into trouble. That's
all right.
What'll happen.
Yeah, then don't get yourself in trouble. Tell me later though.
I'm disappointed now because Leon was saying at the beginning of the show, "Oh my God, I love coming on here because you can say anything." I guess
but he's going to get himself in shit.
Basically, okay, all right. Basically, Australians are kind of rowdy on the piss, and I don't think that agreed with what was happening there. And then we're even more defiant when we're told no. So then that's what happened, and it just evolved. And then I got a life ban.
Wow.
Nice.
And I believe it all too. I've had the privilege of having some drinks with Leon, and it's always a good time.
Terry, the last time we drank together, you were smashed.
Oh fuck! You remember, right? I got out of the Uber, and I don't even remember that drive home with us.
Yeah.
And Ed told me the next day when I was talking to him, he says, "Yeah, Leon was like, is he going to be all right?" Because I guess I was like walking up doing one of these. I was great. Fucked. It was a great night.
You told me about that the day after. You said, I got so drunk with those guys.
Oh, that's the problem. Whenever you go out drink with Leon, it's one of those nights that you have to understand it's contagious. Okay, so you're getting fucking blitzed. That's just how it works.
I don't understand how you got drunk because you don't drink much, do you?
No, not at all. I don't drink.
Probably why.
Holy, the sarcasm's just flying out.
I think someone needs to play a song for us.
Yeah.
Oh, George looked like he might have been falling asleep.
Yeah, he was almost napping.
I'm reading.
I know. I'm messing with you.
I'm reading.
Cheers, boys. Oh yeah.
All right, I've got a quick trivia question here for Leon.
All right.
All right, here we go. Who's the odd man out here? I've got Midnight Oil. I've got In Excess. I've got Men at Work. I've got the Bee Gees. And I've got Wolf Mother. Who's the odd man out? Why?
What was it? What was it, George?
Who's the odd man out? Yeah, which is the
one artist that doesn't belong in that.
Yeah, one of these things is not like the others.
So one of them aren't Australian?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So what were they? What were the names again?
Midnight Oil.
Right.
In Excess.
Yeah.
Men at Work.
Yeah.
The Bee Gees.
Yeah.
And Wolf Mother.
I'm gonna go with Bee Gees.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bee Gees.
Yeah, okay, that's true. Yeah, they're from Manchester.
Right.
My hometown.
Because I seem to remember. Do you remember when Leon was on the last time he tried to tell us the Bee Gees were Australian? Was that not what happened?
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you know what? Even I know Australians don't sing like that.
I thought the Bee Gees were Australian at one point.
No,
they went to Australia from Manchester.
So
that's where the connection is. Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, dare I say it, AC/DC. I mean, they were Scottish, but then they moved to Australia when they were like 6.
That's why.
Is that really what I didn't know that?
You see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, AC/DC would have been a good one there because I would have been like, no, and I would have disputed it.
I crossed it out actually. I thought, no, they're not originally from Australia, but it was actually there. I took it off the list.
I didn't know.
When I was looking that up, there's some great Australian band names. there's some I've never heard of. There's one called the Shantuzis. I thought, what a fabulous name.
Shantuzis.
Yeah.
Actually, funny enough, there's a lot of great Australian bands out. Well, obviously the Lazies at the top, but a lot of really good like heavier bands as well that I listen to. And when I first started checking bands out, I had no idea where they're from. It's usually I find a band, I love it. The first thing I want to do is know where they're from. I don't know why. That's just where my brain goes. And so many bands I'm listening to now are Australian, and so many that I've listened to over the years are Australian, which is awesome. They got a great music scene over there.
Wow, I only listen to Volbeat, so I have no idea.
So, Leon, like I know you're based in Canada. How often do you go back to Sydney? Which is, I guess, is that your hometown? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty well. Like Sydney. I was going like once a year, but now I won't be going for a bit with COVID and all that. But yeah. I mean, well, it's COVID free over there.
Yeah, maybe they don't want you back now. You're from Toronto now.
Yeah, maybe I could.
So how do you like hanging out at? Do you stay at live at the Havanap Hotel?
The what?
The Havanap Hotel.
Havanap Hotel.
What's that one?
I'm not even sure.
It's on Havanap. It's actually a very famous hotel. Bands have done videos there.
This is in Australia.
Oh, you guys don't know it? No. It's like it's kind of Toronto, but Scarborough, South Toronto.
I'm way out.
God. All right.
I did stay in a hotel for 2 weeks through COVID in Oshawa.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was fucking.
Oh, that must have been something.
Yeah,
it was the clover leaf. No, it wasn't.
Definitely like just head down, get to the room, close the door, lock the door. I even fucking
close all the blinds.
Hardware and bought like fucking 10 locks, batten down the fucking hatches.
Next time you go to Oshawa, just stay at Terry's house.
You're better off. Well, to be honest with you, I live in the slums anyway, so that's how I fit in.
Stay at Ringo's Ranch. I've got no internet, but
yeah,
I got beer.
Well, that's all that matters.
You're getting me all excited now. I got to take my shirt off.
Oh
no, don't do that.
The dead
We've got people paying attention to the show. We don't need them, leaving. All right, so what's Derek got to say? Be an older, cooler, unknown Australian band you think should... Okay, so that's a good question, Derek. Can you see that?
What's the question, Leon?
So, Leon, what would be an older, cool, unknown Australia band you think people should know about?
Unknown. Okay. Well, that's
something kind of we wouldn't really know.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Let's place it like that because these guys are known. Like Electric Mary, they're pretty fucking rad.
Right.
They're from Melbourne.
Electric Mary.
Yeah, Electric Mary, pretty cool. Another band that I used to love, and the guitarist Harry went and joined Airborne about 3 or 4 years ago.
Great
their
band.
band was called Palace of the King. They're really cool. Give me a second here. Oh, there's another kind of hardcore band I really like. Really good friends of mine. Actually, Canadian singer called Fangs.
Fangs?
And yeah, Fangs. The singer's Canadian, and he obviously read the memo and went, Leon, you're an idiot. You can have the cold. I'll go to the hot.
Yeah, he went reverse.
Yeah.
And I went, what a smart guy he is.
Well, a band that I love from Australia, and you and I talked one time about this because I was asking you about them. I didn't know they were Canadian Australian when I first started listening. And you actually were on, you played a festival with them, which is the Amityville Affliction.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Great band. Yeah.
I love that band. And
they're more like hardcore, right?
Yeah, they kind of got. I'm trying to think of where they would be classified because they have that almost that grindcore feel to the vocally. They do musically, maybe not so much, but vocally, they got the screamo vocals, but then they got the clean vocals that come in with the big melodies and stuff like that, which is
cool.
I absolutely love them, but. Australian, and when I first started listening to them, I was blown away. I thought, fuck, I love these guys, and find out they're Australian. I'm like, oh fuck, of course they are.
Do they have the voice of an angel?
The one guy. Well, I think they're fucking great singers in that band.
Yeah, no, they're good. They're really good.
Another band I should mention is my friends, the Dead Love. I think I saw Diane Rosso's comment come up, which is
You did.
hello,
in
Diane.
fact.
How are you? They're a great band. Jesus, there's so many bands kicking around, that that are releasing great music. And one thing I will say too, I was on Indie Week on the weekend. We are doing like kind of speed mentoring. It was like speed dating. It's kind of hectic. Everyone was making jokes of that, not just me.
Right.
So, fuck off with your comments. But so like I was so blown away though with the positivity. Like honestly, like I don't know what other industries are going through. I can only anticipate it's as bad as ours. Oh, probably not as bad actually. But
I think you're probably pretty close to that.
Like the tech guys are just fucking.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Right, but
100%. Yeah, yeah. Fuck those guys. Just keep us online. That's all we ask.
Yeah, well, if they shut that down, I'm fucking moving bush.
Right.
So, like, but the positivity coming out of like all musicians, camps are just—it's incredible. Like, you wouldn't even think there's a pandemic inhibiting people to tour and make money and get a name for themselves. Everyone has just remained so positive, and it's fucking lovely. That's the art. That's the musician for you.
Well,
100%.
this is
I agree.
because of all the stuff that's going on. This is why I think it's very important that what we're doing with the show and what you're doing with bands, I think it's all really important that we do that, because a lot of people are out there, and like you said, there's bands everywhere and people don't even know who they are, and they need to get recognized, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so
yeah.
what we're doing is
yeah. The more that this opens up, there's going to be a real demand for live music again, right? So like the small clubs will be full, the big clubs will be full. It's going to be a really interesting time in life. I think it's when music and the arts is going to be like back in like the war times where fucking everyone came out of the war and there was all these big artists and it just started to just ignite.
Just an absolute booming period for music. And I agree. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Just so many artists now. Like I talk to so many guys, and not just in bands. I mean, just in the industry, whether they're sound guys or venue owners or bar, whatever the case may be, everyone is pulling together and trying to do everything they can to keep this shit alive. And you know what? I can't think of anybody on the planet right now that doesn't love some form of music. And if there's a person out there that doesn't like music, you're fucking dead inside. And honest to God, you have to be.
Wow.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine meeting
guys,
somebody.
I have a question, and this goes out for the girls as well. Not
Here
just
we
the
go.
guy thing. What would you prefer, music or masturbation?
Wow.
If you had to pick one for 3 months, and you have like a little anklet brace, if you fucking touch it, it's going on.
You get one, but not the other, right?
Yeah, you have to give up one and take the other.
You have to give up one for a month.
3
Oh
months.
God.
3 months.
3 months.
Fuck.
Oh fuck, I'd do that.
I'd take music.
I'm like a sex camel. Yeah, I could totally just stick with music.
Jesus.
That's the new Tom Jones song for sure.
Right?
Sex camel.
I'm a sex
Camel.
Oh yeah,
Terry,
dude.
you're a bloody stud muffin, mate. I can't understand why you would even say that.
Oh shucks. But all joking aside, though, like, how many people do you honestly know that don't like?
Off the air, Terry. Off the air. I'm just going to refer to you now as sex camel.
Oh fuck.
See, yes.
Oh.
Drink break.
Yeah. Drink break.
Classic.
Yeah, because the show isn't going off the rails enough as it is. We need more alcohol.
See, and I know exactly why Terry says he's a sex camel and he can go without, because he masturbates in his sleep and he thinks it's a dream.
No, I've just honestly cut all the pockets out of my pants. You never know.
Oh, wow. I think we've started something crazy here.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Oh yeah.
What else is new?
Yeah.
I got nothing.
What? Nothing
So,
in your hand right now?
Nothing. Look, nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
So
But
Leon,
now
what's
you
going-
don't know, right? You don't know.
What's
Yeah.
going on with the band? What's Matty up to and everybody?
Yeah, oh, it's good news, man. We've like, I mean, for us recording and writing songs, especially with Ian. For those of you who don't know, we work with Ian from Billy Talent, have done for 5 or 6 years. He's very meticulous with how he does things, and like we really sign off on songs, as opposed to earlier on. We, a band will get like 15, 20 songs together. So you got all these songs and you're like, oh, okay, cool, you're trying to put it all together. But right now, like the way we're really focusing on things is just like signing off on one particular song when we're happy with it. It sounds like a weird process, but it really works. So we have 3 now.
Right. Well, it's kind of like
you got to start somewhere, but we have 3 really good songs, and to
That's
be
it?
honest, for this next record, yeah.
Okay.
But like for us as a band, it was really nice to get a break. To be honest, like we've really been going so hard at trying to build our name for many, many, many years, and
Hey, why is he muted?
Yeah, what happened? I think he muted himself. He must have muted himself.
he did.
There he is.
Nice.
did I just mute myself?
Yeah.
Go.
You
Hey,
just disappeared.
Where
Terry.
was I?
Terry, go mute yourself.
Anyway,
So you know what? You know what the hard thing is? We're looking. We've got a sponsorship program now, right? So
oh yeah.
we have to dial back some of the F bombs and MF bombs and
I
all
haven't
of
been
that stuff.
successful with any of it, though, by the way.
Burping, farting, all of that stuff is just not happening, right? So,
Oh, but that's natural.
no, you can't do it.
Then it'll explode.
You might. You never know.
So anyway, before I unmute myself again,
Yeah,
it was nice to
continue.
get a bit of a break. It was nice to get a bit of a break, and we're writing continuously and just working on new songs. But I don't think we're going to get them out there. I don't know,
For a
man.
while.
Like with COVID and stuff, like we don't want to just drop our material that we've been working on for so long to not be able to tour it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
all right, that's
Well, Leon, whatever happened to the those songs you worked on? They were kind of like ballads. In fact, you were working on something and you were given a kind of a bit of a precursor kind of hint, I guess, and what's this next song going to be, a ballad or whatever? So I said ballad, and of course it was a ballad. So what was it called again? It was Lick My Love Pump. I can't remember.
Lick My Love Pump.
Wow. It was amazing. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. Because
After the lecture we just got, by the way.
I know. He just said we can't say shit because of sponsor. He goes, like my love pump. It's like,
well, it was kind of like that. Lick My Love Pump's a Spinal Tap tune, but
nicely done.
so
Yeah.
okay. Tell us about those songs because you did what, 2 or 3 or something like that. They were really,
Oh,
really cool.
yeah, it's like just all like super emotional stuff, you know. And
Yeah. All right,
but,
I'm gonna grab my Kleenex and tell us about it.
well, it's like, yeah, I teamed up with a guy in Australia. He's like in his 50s. Like he's one of the greatest pianists I've ever heard. Like
A
he
penis?
can play.
Oh, that must have been your accent there. I don't
I
know.
hate that word. I hate that fucking
Penis, apparently, the best you've ever heard. It's got a mouth.
Pianist. Like who? Pianist.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm a
I would
pianist.
like to just say that I'll never say pianist again. I'm going to put it down to keys player.
That's better.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
he's an incredible, and met him and always kind of wanted to work with somebody of that kind of caliber. And it just so happened there was a bunch of shit going in my life at the time, and it was like therapy. It was really good. It's called All or Nothing. It's on SoundCloud somewhere.
Nice. Yeah,
Perfect.
definitely. We'll try and get it up on the site because it's a brilliant song. And it really shows, you know, obviously your flexibility as a songwriter with a penis.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say you can't be throwing the term pianist around on a show like this. We're way too immature for that.
Totally.
Oh my!
You got that, Terry.
Exactly. I know. I'm shocked you said it with a straight face.
Working with a pianist.
Right.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
So Leon, do you think music is regressing away from albums and back to singles like it was years ago? That's a good question there.
Yeah, I reckon so. Because I'll give you the hot tip. Unless you like AC/DC and don't give a shit, if you upload your album to Spotify, that weird company that try to just fuck us all, that weird company. If you upload a full album to that, besides the single that you're kind of pushing at that moment, everything will be regarded as old content.
Oh,
so once you go to a new single, they won't consider it new content, so it really doesn't make playlists and
no way.
Yeah. But let's face it too, what new bands coming through can afford to record an album of significant quality?
Right.
It costs $60,000-$70,000 to record an album. That's if you hear an album that's won a Juno last year before, 60 to 100
easily. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
See ya.
Yeah.
So, like, if you can record one or two killer songs, gain some traction, it's going to be considered new content. You might be able to afford to work with some people that charge 60 to 100 for a record, which is unachievable for a new band with no backing.
Well, I don't know if you've seen, Leon, Spotify just announced recently, and this is such a fucking joke. They were like, hey, if artists want us to promote them more, we will happily do so, but they got to pull back on some of the royalties that they're charging us. Now, so I'm like, dude, I have stuff on Spotify, and I'm telling you, it's a fucking joke. Like 0.001, of a cent. That's what you get per stream.
But listen to this, right? And this is something serious. But like, imagine if the fucking the biggest players in music, your AC/DCs, Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelins, fucking Beatles, for Christ's sake, or like, imagine if they pulled together some money to fucking start something better. You know what I mean? Where it was sustainable and it wasn't this capitalistic fucking garbage that it is. Like, we've got to come to some new, I don't know, recipe. Like, it's clearly how long's Spotify been around? And although it's an incredible service and what you can get out of it for the fuck all money you pay for it, excuse us, Ringo. Sorry, mate. Isn't there something better?
Yeah.
Isn't there in this planet that David Attenborough's told us is going to blow up in the next 30, 40 years? Because we've ruined that too. Isn't there some way better that we can get music out there, artists get paid what they deserve, consumer understands that if you want the fucking music, you pay for it. It's really not that hard, but they've sewed it all up, and now...
And that's the problem. Even the group of us here right now, we could probably come up with something better that's out there now, but the problem is, with everything that's going on, is you have the big business, the big companies with the money, they don't want us around.
Exactly.
So that's the problem.
Yeah.
There could be much, much better things for bands all over the world.
Well, considering like streaming is a multi-billion-dollar industry now musically, and artists get pretty much this much of it, and they're the reason it even exists. It's a sad state of affairs.
It's really,
and this is one of the pushes why we are trying to promote music on the station, on our show. We want new bands to come on. We're doing what we can, right?
Yeah. We got to do something, and right now this is what we can do, and we're going to push forward and continue to do this. But people need to understand that if you get an artist, you know, go buy their shirts, go buy their merch, because they're making a fuck of a lot more money off their merch than they are off their streams.
Yeah, and even if it's like a counterculture or some shit, like why don't we just like re-educate people who like guitar bands to buy shit?
Right.
You know, if you do like guitar bands, go buy stuff. I mean, all the pop stars and whatnot, they probably make a fortune out of their streaming anyway.
Yeah.
But like we need a culture that's like, and we do have it. But it's like, it's insane to believe like what people can just get for $10 a month on Spotify. Like, it's insane.
It's incredible.
So, I just thought of a question there for you, Leon. I'm a DJ, right? I'm not a musician. But say, for instance, you were approached by a drinks company, something like that, and they wanted to use "Shake It Like You Mean It" to push their product.
What kind of drinks?
Yeah, a drink or something. You know what I mean?
Not pop. It has to have alcohol in it.
Yeah.
Whichever. How would you? You go, okay, I've got a chance to make money here. Would you think you're cheapening your music, or would you just take the money? What kind of a stance would you take?
Oh, mate, I'd take the fucking money.
Right. That's all right then.
You and me both, brother.
Yeah. Look, I understand, George, the question. It's just now in the music industry, I think that you have to take money how you can get it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Survive.
I'm just curious. I thought
if it was, I don't know, if it was, I'd much rather it be like VB from Australia, the beer, than orange juice. But you know, if orange juice showed up on the day, I'm drinking orange juice. You know.
That's right. Yeah. That makes sense.
But like, you know, like back in the day when people valued music and the actual product, like we talk about orange juice or we talk about a beer, you go and actually physically buy it, and that's what was happening in the music industry well before I was involved in it. I wasn't involved, unfortunately, in an industry that was sustainable through selling the product. Fuck, I wish I was. Sorry, Ringo. But like, like until we get like people like understanding that actual, you know, this iPhone, we pay for that. Imagine
throw it away.
The record.
It's an iPhone. Throw it away.
Yeah. Well, this tequila.
Oh, there you go.
I can't just go and take that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like, if people think streaming isn't taking, well, why aren't the major corporations sharing the dividends with the way it should be? If I get if collectively my catalog on Spotify gets 50,000 spins a week or something like that, like I won't see a fucking thing from that. And it's like, why? That's so weird.
You've got to be in the millions of streams to actually see any kind of real money out of it. It's pretty shitty.
I would say multi kajillions of streams.
Right. But something I absolutely hate is the term selling out, because to me, like a band, like especially in the heavier genres, you hear a band have been around for 10, 15 years. They start to go a little bit lighter. They change up what they're doing because they've done what they've been doing since they were in high school. Now they're maybe in their 40s or even in their 50s, like Metallica and stuff like that. And the reality of it is, I'm sorry, but do you really want to be a starving artist your whole fucking life? Or do you want to actually try and find a way to make a living at it? And that's what bands are forced to do. And it's honestly, they're treated like criminals by their own fans because they change shit up.
Can I say this, Terry?
Absolutely.
Why? This is a bold statement, but I'm going to make it. Why aren't the bands that were lucky enough? Now, okay, say Metallica, super talented, fucking greatest band, right? Yeah. But why aren't those bands like? Are they concerned? I shouldn't say that because I think Lars was one of the big things with streaming early on. But where are the big fucking bands? Where's the union coming together to say, all right, we lived in a day and age where fucking records sold. There wasn't the internet. There wasn't the tech guys. There wasn't Bitcoin. What about the guys that do live in that generation? What about those bands? Should we be doing something for those bands? Now, U2, Coldplay, Foo Fighters, AC/DC, Muse, they're all in. There's 5 fucking bands that could pull together outrageous money. Why aren't they fucking starting something like the UN for music to say, no, we're going to fucking put our foot forward for the fucking music industry. You're still in it. They all expect people to buy tickets to their concerts. They all expect. So where's their contribution to why the fuck this is going to shit?
Yeah, good point. Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's my point. Like,
well, it's unfortunate.
If my band was worth $100 million, I'd surely fucking come to the committee and say, here's 2. We'll start it on 2.
Yeah.
Hey, big spender. Here's 2 to slide into the old fund. Now we can start actually rebuilding what is ours, which is music. Why does everyone else own it? Why is the tech guys own it? Fuck off.
Right. Yeah.
You don't own it. You just do because you're allowed to.
Yeah. And if everybody had your attitude, things would work. Unfortunately, there's one word out there which ruins the whole thing, and that's called greed.
Oh, yeah.
They all want the money, and a little bit or a percentage is not enough. They want as much as they can get, and that's the problem.
Yeah, but I agree, Heiko. I mean, there's a lot of business that, you know, they need content. But here's the thing, we fucking do it to ourselves. Like, I mean, the fact that you know, you don't protect yourself, you don't protect your music, you go out without a like, you know, whatever, SOCAN, ASCAP, whatever, and you just, you know, it's an accident waiting to happen. You're gonna get ripped off immediately. And like back in the day, you had to buy an album, okay? A piece of vinyl, you got to lick the outside cover.
Yeah. Oh God!
Or it was Cheech and Chong, you got to roll the inside cover.
So, no, but it was a thing. It was a whole thing. It was like, I'm going to Sam the Record Man. I'm going wherever, and I'm gonna get my album. I got the sleeve. I got, you know, It was awesome. It was an experience. The whole thing was an experience.
100%. Yeah.
And you
Leon's
just
point,
nailed
though, Leon's point about a union highly resonates with me, because when back in the day when I was touring, I like, just even as a glorified cover band that did a bunch of shitty originals, we were playing for 5,000 to 7,500 a week in bars, right? And everything, but you know, working your way up from the shithole places to the A clubs, we were pulling down some good coin, and then everything got, so this is the parallel to records. The internet came on, boom, everything gets diluted, torrent bit shares and everything, so everything's for free. But who's doing that? Who's encouraging that? It's us. I mean, it's the consumer that's encouraging it. Right? You're not supporting your bands anymore. You're not licking the album cover. You're saying, fuck you, I'm going to steal your music, right? Regardless. Like when Napster was out, I mean, Lars went after them and all that. Rightly so. And then what was the backlash
because
on that?
You know what? I
boycotting
think
Metallica, you know? Yeah.
Ringo, man, fucking, because as we all know in life, everyone wants something for free. That's that's humankind. I'm fucking victim to it. We all are, right? But like, music's been like the full on, like the culprit of that. Like, so not the culprit, the opposite of that. Whatever. So like, we've been the ones to endure all the suffering. Like, for God's sakes, like, why is there this mentality that a fucking band shouldn't be paid for anymore? Like,
absolutely,
record shouldn't be paid for.
There's an inflection point where a hobby gone wild, where you actually get good at it, can become a career or a job, right? So this is where we need governmental support and everything else to get the fucking union back in.
Totally.
And you know what? You can work as a bricklayer. You can work as a bricklayer.
Leon's all wound up now. Look out.
Here we go. Let's do it.
No. Listen, you can work as a bricklayer all your life, okay? Nobody ever call you a bricklayer. You can work as a musician all your life, okay? Nobody will ever call you a musician, all right? Like, so and there's another parallel to that, but suck one, you know, anyway. But the thing is,
I know what he was going to.
You need a union. I remember people like musicians balking at the union. Oh, I got to pay my union dues. Where? Well, you know what? They were crying about it because they felt that the union should be giving them gigs. It's like, no. Go get your own gigs. Go advertise your band. Do
you know what? You know what? I reckon.
Let's start a union.
I reckon
Leon,
it should be.
Tomorrow we're starting a union.
Let's do it. I reckon it should be mandatory for every successful band in the world to like fucking vouch for a band.
Right.
Why
That's
not?
a great idea.
That's
To like what? What was that? To like what?
To vouch for another
for a
band.
band. So go find a band that you love that's up and
And
coming.
you drag them along. You pull them into the man.
Fucking help them out. Do whatever you got to do.
love,
We're vouching for this band. Like, why
100%.
Why is it? You know what? Like, I could get in trouble for saying this, but I probably won't. But like
You're with us. Like we got your back.
I love a guy like Dave Grohl. Obviously, everyone does. Very successful guy. I can't take that away from him. You know, but I watch stuff like Sound City and I go, okay, well, that was your time. That's awesome. So what are we going to do about our time? And Dave Grohl bought the desk because he's probably got $4 million change in his fucking back pocket. But it's like what are we doing about our culture now? Like, who's going to be left to do that? So maybe some support would be fucking awesome. And I know I saw he had Royal Blood in his studio and stuff like that. But there should be more stuff like that because people are looking to him. Millions of people are looking to him. Millions of people aren't looking to me. I get to do my little whacking things. We've played in front of a couple of great festival crowds and all that, and we're still building what we have. And I can only do as much as I can, but I'm already fucking doing it for bands below us. Bandwagon. Helping
mentoring it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Like, why isn't that happening on the highest end, like the king and the castle? Like, we'll see the peasants. We'll see how they cope with this amount of bread.
Could you imagine getting to sit with some of the boys in Metallica and getting mentored? You know what I mean? Exactly what you're saying. Like,
they don't need, look, I'm not saying they need to take the time out of their day to do anything.
No, I understand what you're saying. No.
Yeah, where's the money? Where's the fucking money? You know what I mean?
I'm sure you could get it for $4 million, but you got to be realistic.
Like the $4 million thing was like Dave Grohl and buying the Neve desk from Sound City. We've all seen that documentary, and it's really, really cool. And you know, Dave Grohl's probably lived the most insane fucking life we could ever imagine, and probably doesn't get a moment's peace to himself, to be honest. But at the end of the day, like if he could like actually like, I mean, the American government would probably fucking grant him the money to do it. I'm going to start something that's going to be like, if what bands, what grants, what this, what that, we could change things. Why doesn't music have like a body? Why are we all these people that are just like, all everywhere, you know?
Here's a compelling event that's happened is COVID, right?
Right.
So what did COVID do to musicians? It flattened them. So because a lot of them don't even claim taxes, right? So you did not exist in the radar, right? So I'm saying, you know what? All right, government needs to engage. You make $1 from your music, you should be kind of reporting that so you get treated like a human being and a working class citizen. So if you want to be a musician, a career musician, great. And you got the government support and everything. And if you're not doing well, you'll get some support, right? You'll get EI or whatever. You might even qualify. I think there's something to be said about like the one body, right? Whether you call it union or uniting somehow. All right, we can't let bars allow talent bands to play there for. I mean, again, if you accept a gig and it's all about booze, you're creating the problem. You're part of the problem, right? But it's. You know, I think it's like Leon said earlier, you know, if a plumber, you know, is working under your sink, all right, and first of all, that plumber's bent over under the sink working on something, right? Likely you're going to go plumber's ass, okay? You can't buy that kind of talent at a strip club. So
and at Terry's place, he'd be scared to get raped. So that's all.
You know what? That's all. No, you're going to pay that plumber, and you're going to pay that plumber very well because it's likely a union plumber, right? This is why we have unions, all right? And I know there's probably a lot of people. Feel free to to comment, Johnny Ringo, or on the Heikadelic show, right?
Yep.
Even throw some love over to Leon about it, but it's a good point. Like, I would love to just shut everything off and play music, right?
See all the fucking sorry, Ringo, I just dropped the F-bomb.
You're good. Fucking drop it all you want.
You see all the bloody whinges. Oh, I'm not working for this. I'm not working for that. I don't get this. I don't get. It's just like I've grown up, like just looking at this shit, going, "Fuck me," you know. And then now COVID has really brought about some serious change, and it's like all you guys really do now is like look towards entertainment, or like all we are looking towards is entertainment, is regardless of what arts it is, right? And so it's about time that this industry was taken seriously. You know what I mean? Like, for God's sakes, a $10 subscription to fucking Spotify doesn't cut it. And it's another thing, because like all Netflix, I reckon, doing it right, and all those sort of fucking things you can stream movies and that from. But it's like they do it right. They get specials, and they I don't know. I just feel like that's better. That's run better than like something like Spotify, where it's just free for all. You know. Like,
when it's up, the thing with Spotify, when it's up there forever. Where like Netflix kind of brings and pulls back, and you know what I mean, kind of shows you some shit, pulls it back. You know what I mean? You're right, 100%. That Netflix is doing something definitely better.
And you know, I reckon I was even pitching this to mates and stuff like that quite a while ago. But why isn't there a scalability to Spotify, things like that? It's like, oh, I want to show my mate this new fucking band. Okay, cool. You should have a cooling off period. Like, you can't get this song for another 3 or 4 hours.
Right.
So if you really want it, click this button, boom, pay for it. Money's gone.
Derek's saying
you shouldn't have an instantaneous accessibility to any piece of music that you want around the fucking world for $10. Like, sorry, but you shouldn't.
Yeah, you're right.
Ridiculous.
I agree.
100%.
So Derek is saying if everyone could play Ringo, there'd be a lot of real shitty bands. And that's a good point. It's a good point, because just to name a few, I'm going to name about 5 right now locally.
I'm going to tell you to go fuck yourself before you get started.
Anyway, no, Tears of a Deity was not. They didn't make that cut of 5, but I will talk about a few.
I find that hard to believe.
No, but seriously. Here's a cool concept, right? Music becomes a job, a career, right? An opportunity to make money and get paid for it. You go through Leon's coaching university bandwagon, all right? And or something that can vet out whether or not you've sort of, maybe each musician doesn't have to go to university to get, some kind of a degree in music, but a musician should, we call it paying your dues, right? So if you've got something that's decent content and everything else, and sort of vet them and get your, hey, I'm a musician, because back in the day when they had the union, you could do that. You didn't even have to really be a musician. You could go in and buy a union card and pretend, right? But I think the big point here is that, like, it should be allowed to be a career, right? And there should be a lot of support behind it, and there should be penalties if you're ripping off people's shit.
Well, if you have a band that's touring, it is a career, no doubt about it. They're not a dentist or anything on the side. That's their job. That's what they do for a living. Yes, you should have all the benefits that everybody else has that has a career.
Okay, so when Leon stops touring, right, and he kind of is not as relevant as he is today, and maybe his nuts hit the floor or something. But anyway, at that point, Leon's got to go get a real job, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I've seen many of my buddies that I grew up with, and we were all hammering it out in bars. We all got offers to go on the road, right? Some did. I didn't, because my parents said, go, You know, have fun. Take some time off of high school and do it. And I made the stupid decision at the time. I thought, well, not gonna. But years later, after I'm making decent money and secure and everything else, my buddies are coming off the road after being on the road for some of them almost like 20 years. All right.
Yeah.
And what have they got? Nothing in terms of being able to go like a developed career and being able to support a family. And some of them have bounced back, some of them not. Right. So it's but
it's
really
who's Ringo, who's in there? And I'm sure there are people, but who's really in there fighting for what we're talking about? You know what I mean?
Nobody.
That's the sad part right there.
So we're going to do that tomorrow, Leon. You and I are going to make that happen.
All right. Well,
nice.
Let's do it. Start the union.
But
let's take over the world, mofos.
There's
I got
one
nothing
thing
to
I've
do
been
right now.
taken from.
I just have to, guys. Sorry to interrupt. I just have to grab a beer.
Okay.
And maybe a quick piece. Oh, one sec.
Oh, wow.
Well, while we're doing that,
the star of our show leaves.
No. But while we're doing that, why don't we jump to some more of George's trivia before the
No,
night out?
that sounds awesome. Do that.
This is where I come in useful. Finally, I'm useful. Right.
Intermission. Let's
This
see
is why I
George.
joined the band. I feel like a drummer. Oh, we need a drummer now.
More
It's
cowbell.
interesting. I have to. Yeah, a triangle. But like it's interesting listening to musicians talk from my perspective as a DJ, right? Because like a lot of musicians are in bands, So, like I always felt the DJ, good or bad reasons or whatever, is just a very lonely guy in the corner of the room. So at this time, I know a lot of DJs, but it's a very tough time because we don't have bandmates that we can turn around to. Our gigs were just on our own. So it's just interesting. I know it's tough for musicians, but it's like my fellow DJs are struggling, but I'm not hearing it's because we're so used to being individuals. We don't have that support, which is kind of crazy, really.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. There's definitely some parallels between a DJ's world and it's actually pretty fantastic when you think about it, because I follow some female artist DJs that actually and where I think the parallel is some of the DJs when they create their own, music on the fly or snippets and stuff. I mean, you really have to have a knack and really understand what you're doing, I guess. But then there's the other elements that I think are parallel about stage presence, right? Get a DJ up there who is just, monotone and they don't, it's not going to fly, but get somebody else that's vibrant and really pumping the crowd. I think that's going to really work well, right? But George and I actually pretty recently, after one of our shows, might have been last week, the week before, but we carried on a conversation over the phone for maybe 3 hours or something. And I was so tired. I was
not interested. He fell asleep.
No.
Ringo fell asleep? Or you fell asleep?
No, I fell asleep.
He fell asleep.
But
I've been there and done that at a bar with him numerous times.
I was actually very enthralled with George's history and how, he came to Canada, talked about some of the greatest shows that he's ever done. And, I came away from that after I fell asleep after 3 hours, but and then the sun had risen because we were on till about 3 a.m. and
it was crazy.
Yeah. And so
having a good time.
So people in the house were saying you were up till 3:30 in the morning. I said, no, I think my heartbeat on my iPhone thing or whatever watch said, I was out at 3 o'clock. But George must have kept talking for another half an hour. But
well, you were probably sleeping on screen, no doubt.
No, we weren't on screen. We were just on the phone talking.
On the phone. I thought you were on screen doing this.
What was super interesting?
Old school. We're old school, just on the phone. Yeah.
Well, what was super interesting about it, though, is the fact that George built a career and he was relentless. I think he said at one point his wife was so supportive and he wanted to be exclusively a DJ, right? So he's played at the CN Tower and on a regular basis as I guess kind of like part of the team up there.
Yeah, when it
but
sparkles.
A lot of really amazing stuff. And so DJs, career DJs, I mean, they're very popular. I think John from Korn does DJ events, right? And but it's a fabulous parallel.
It was a little different back then too, I guess, George. Like your experience and legacy, I guess, as a DJ would have changed potentially.
Oh
started to what it is now, right?
Yeah, well,
now
I'm not a technical
with
guy.
us now.
Yeah, but it's like to me
downhill real quick.
Sorry.
Well, next month will actually be 50 years since my first ever paid gig, December the
12th,
1970.
We should celebrate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not paying you to be on the show.
50 years, hey.
50 years.
Wow, 50. I know. Hang on. Let's get the tunes up here.
All right.
Yeah. Woo.
Cheers, George. 50 years.
Oi, George, that's pretty incredible.
Well, I've got to make it. I've got to live that long yet. It's still like a month away. But
okay.
Well, make sure you do because
let's not jump the gun. But I mean, to me, DJing was a social thing. I mean, I didn't go into a gig. It still don't, and hopefully won't do when this is over. But I just go with a blank canvas. You know what I mean? And I'll just go get in with whoever's in there. You know what I mean? I don't go, this is my set tonight. This is what I play. Yeah. But I just draw from like different things and you sort of engage. So it's like, I'm not saying you fly around the stage, but people come up to you. I love people coming up to me and asking for requests and, shooting the shit that I've never met before, and then they become regulars, So that's to me is what I find very hard at the moment. I mean, if I was like a technical DJ, I'd be down here just mixing, sets together and practicing. So that's that kind of DJ. To me, it's like that live DJ, as I like to call it. So
George, I think I'm gonna get to trivia. And we'll once we're done with that, we're gonna. I guess. How do you guys feel about extending the show a little bit?
I don't.
Leon, we still got you.
Hey, well, unless masturbation comes into it, I've got nothing to do.
There you go.
Do you have enough drink?
The show's over because Facebook will shut us down.
No, right?
Oh,
yeah, enough to drink?
Yeah.
And you know where I stand on that. I'm a sex man.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna order a pizza, but the thing is, I've been advised by my dietitian that that's not such a good thing to do every night.
Every night, probably not.
But have a barley sandwich. That's what we call these. A barley sandwich.
Leon, for variety, just order it from a different store every time, right?
Right. Then you go.
Boys, I went out. I bought groceries. I did all the good things. And then I had a meeting that went from 5 till 9, and then this show, and then I'm like, I'm going to order a pizza, and that totally defeats the purpose of why I went to the grocery store today.
Yes.
Well, if you get pineapples on it, then you're eating healthy, right?
Yeah.
You could always bring your phone into the kitchen. We can watch you cook. I'm sure.
Yeah, that would be entertaining.
So we're going to go to George, and George hit some trivia.
Nice.
We're still waiting for any suggestions on the backside.
The first thing I thought was Beatles, but I know it's not. I just looked at it and went, oh.
No,
I would say that's
like 85, 86.
I would say like that's something potentially like Aerosmith could do, like fucking a cover, like is that the back or is that the?
That's the back.
That's the back.
And it's a double album, right, George? It's a double album.
It's a double album.
It looks like the American flag kind of in the background too. So
yeah, you're right.
couple
So
of
is it an American band then, George, or no?
Yeah, it's like an American frontman of a band.
Oh, okay.
Frontman.
And the Stars and Stripes featured on the album before this one.
Oh,
Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen.
Fuck, you
That's
beat me
it.
to it, you prick.
Wow.
You beat me to it, you prick.
Nicely
go.
done.
Ringo.
He looks like the Godfather, Michael, or Tony Montana.
Yeah, he does.
Al Pacino.
Yeah, pretty much. Eh?
So, George, do I get the little?
You get
cheer?
nothing. That's what you get. Like all our other guests, you get nothing.
You know what you get for winning
Heiko
that?
points.
I don't know.
You get a
Heiko points.
You know
you
what
get a
you
slap
get for winning that?
from the pianist.
Well, I'd like to.
pianist.
First of all,
Boys,
I'd like
I
to
was
thank
more than
my.
happy.
Oh,
I'm
would
more
you
than happy
fuck
to
right
just-
off?
Here we go.
Hello.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
more
I'd
than
like to
happy to
thank
offer my
God and-
Spotify royalties. My Spotify royalties.
There you go.
That was going to be the grand prize.
You're right. I'll give mine too, which is way less than yours, by the way.
We're almost on a fucking McDonald's meal.
I can't buy
All
a
right.
10-cent candy with mine, so I've got you beat.
Here's
All
my
right,
share.
So, okay, so I'm gonna. Okay.
Wow.
So Leon, all right. So so you've just selected me out of other singers, you know, in the class of angels, to work with Bandwagon. So what's the first piece of advice you're going to tell me? Like, what's
Get
my
out
take
now,
home?
you
What's
suck.
my take home for that first session?
I don't know, man. It's like a kind of catered thing, right? What I find with every musician is a personality, and there's a whole thing that comes with that. So I'd probably suss out what you wanted to do and where you wanted to take it, and honestly listen to your music, and we'd go from there. It really it's case by case scenario, but I get a good understanding of what you want to achieve, and also getting my head around what your style of music is, and all that sort of stuff is the first step. And
So
that
what
would go
if it-
for any of the mentors, right?
Right. Okay. So let's say somebody who's, I mean, I got to think there's a lot of excitement when they get communication from you that, you're being selected to be part of Bandwagon. I'm sure a lot of excitement goes through their head. So give me maybe you can tell us an example of whether it's funny shit or not, about what a band's reaction, or whoever was spokesman for the band, like that first time that they get to meet with you. I mean, they must be elated and super, super thrilled, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like when my ex-wife met me. It was a really nice scenario at first, and then it deteriorated.
Like every other relationship I've had, it's funny how that works.
Oops.
Oh, this is great. He's awesome. And then weeks later, wow, this just went downhill.
This guy's a weirdo.
Damn.
This guy doesn't like my dog. Really? Fuck, I've forgotten the question.
All bad, so did I.
And Ringo's got me on full screen. I don't.
Yeah, he totally does, and you have no idea what's going on. And the worst part is he's keeping you there. He does that to us all the fucking time.
Asshole. Yeah, I don't know, mate.
So, Ringo, what the fuck was the question again?
Yeah, what
We've
was the
all
question
forgotten
It
it.
was
He doesn't even remember.
no, a new band or artist joins, goes
Oh,
for
the
their
reaction.
first session, right?
Yeah.
What's their reaction? Yeah.
Oh, mate.
Awesome.
But
yeah,
I like the marriage analogy, that it's all fun at first and a lot of sex, and then it gets reduced to hand jobs. So. I get I get the parallel.
Yeah. So
Nicely done.
I think that people are generally pretty happy. Like, that doesn't just go for me. It's the other mentors. You know, I've had bands work with Ryan Roxy from the Alice Cooper band.
Yeah.
And mate, like, you know, he's written with some of the best and performed with some of the best.
Yeah.
Right.
And, you know, actually, to answer your question, I often notice their reactions because I'll get in on the sessions. Their reactions working with them. So I couldn't say with me. Hopefully it's the same. But yeah, there's generally like a really nice positive vibe because this person is actually like working with this aspiring artist that probably goes, "What? Oh, I can't believe this kind of thing." I don't know. It's just this fusion. It's a really nice thing. Again, it's very difficult to explain it because it's that's the magic of music. When it happens, it's there.
Yeah.
So
I would have
what
become like a fucking commentator if I could reenact what happened. You know.
So what would you say the success rate is? Like, how many bands have you got under the umbrella now?
I think I counted, and there's about 23 since March that we've worked with.
Nice, very nice.
How many female bands are in that mix? Because somebody was asking that question as well.
We have one female mentor at the moment. I've worked, actually, funnily enough, the girls that Kenda hasn't worked with other girls. I have, though, and they're both from the UK, which is weird.
Coincidentally,
to be honest, though, if I was to be straight up, like, yeah, it is more guy dominated, like band, blah blah blah. But like, yeah, I would encourage the girls to get on board. Like, actually, on Indie Week, a lot of the revolving, they put you in like a virtual room type thing, and there was a lot of girls involved in Indie Week, which I was like, that's awesome, you know. So
that's cool.
Yeah, like I'd like to say there's more of a 50-50 kind of thing going on, but you know, it's like a lot of guys have been getting involved and, you know, wanting to pursue their music careers as well. So,
so do you?
Speaking of girls, I think we need a girl on our show.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
That's about all I can offer.
George is like, yeah.
There we
Good
go.
luck with that.
So
I don't think any Sheila would bloody fucking want to be on this show.
That's right. I don't think so.
Yeah, you're right. 100%.
So, actually, Kathy and Derek run our fan club now, so we're kind of
well, that's nice.
Yeah. So, but anyway, what I was going to ask you was the bands. How do you set up a path for them? Like, how does that initial elation turn into, okay, some consistent work, hard work, or do you get bands that are really excited at first and they totally flake off like most musicians tend to do?
Ringo, fuck, I love the honesty. It truly depends. From experience with it, I've had bands that have wanted some simple mentorship. So like, you know, a few hours of, I always ask them to prepare questions.
Yeah.
Excuse me, and what they want to achieve from it. So there could be a band that that's all they want is just to figure out how is it we go about, you know, all A, B, C, D. And then you've got bands that actually are like, well, I'd actually like want to co-write music. So you go, well, send us your demos. So and I have a listen to them. If I can work with them, I'd love to. If I can suggest someone else, that's what I do. And then I go, oh, this person's probably great for what you're trying to achieve.
Well, I'm gonna send you our CD, and I got lots of money, so if you need to move it, I can help with that. But at the end of the day, I need you to also be real, Leon. Like Ringo, man, you guys suck,
horrible.
you know.
Other than the one guest appearance he has on the album, it's terrible.
I know it's not going to happen. Yeah, we had Code on there doing a backup thing, and then I hate to say it, but we edited him out.
Yeah,
and,
I know you did. So
I
fuck
just
yourself, by the way.
But
just saying.
Yeah, so
the Midnight Express.
I think, but where I'm going with that is there's got to be a lot of challenges. Those artists come in and their head, I'm surprised, can sometimes fit through the door because of their ego, right? So it's going to be like, no, my shit doesn't stink, right? And it's going to be, but you're going to get artists who are legitimate, grounded. Hey, I'm so excited. Like, you know, the Followays, a great bunch of guys. Like, we heard about them before you guys got them. But
nice.
They're awesome guys. You know, Revive the Rose. There's so many people out there, and they're so grateful. They're grounded, right? But then you get the I won't name names, but I could probably go on for the next half hour naming names of bands in Durham that, you know, have issues. But and think their stuff is really good and put out videos and everything else, and it's absolute shit.
You're talking to one right now.
Wow.
Yeah. I was gonna say the lazy.
I'm fucking with him. Actually, no. All joking aside, Ringo knows I love his band. That's how I.
No, hey, our video was out. We got 50,000. Well, more than 50,000.
Yeah, no, it was a good video. You did a good job. I'm totally fucking.
It's really not our best track, but the video had a hot chick in it, so.
And that's all that matters.
No, it actually.
And the voice of an angel.
No, but
honestly, the hot chick is what.
You have to have a great song. Yeah, I mean. Everything, right? The lyrics are, you know, because I write 100% of the lyrics exclusively are, you know, awesome. But yeah. So Leon, I want real feedback, right? Because honestly, you know, it's like managing money or anything. Like, you can't sugarcoat, because the minute you sugarcoat, you're not the fee or whatever you're charging this artist. It's really bullshit, because they need to know what's going to sell and what they have to do to become a success, and the hard work that you've put in it. So you're a mentor, you got mentors, and you're a coach and a manager.
I just believe, though, like, for me, I've always been about, like, something that means something to me. It's real, it's honest, it's pure, right? And so I mean, I guess I'm attracting that kind. You put out what you want to attract, right?
Right.
So, like, you know, I am. A lot of great young bands are coming forward, and they do have real music, and it's really good. It just needs a bit of molding, a bit of shaping. You know, I'm producing a band called Dead Levy from Regina.
Nice.
I know who they are.
With John from Monster Truck. So, you know, like, John got on board. He really loved them. We love these guys. Like, these guys.
I'm pretty sure they played the music hall. Were they not out here? Someone played the hall. I worked that show.
Yes, this night.
Great fucking
was
band.
Supposed to be my fucking birthday, and I spoke to Ed and Maggie, and I was like, these guys, you got to get them on Funk Night. And then I'm bringing my birthday party, and we're going to fucking rage. Anyway, family reasons, I had to ditch to Australia, and they still played. And apparently, like, they were just slinging merch. Like,
they killed it. I did their lighting that night. And Maggie absolutely loves that band. Still
awesome.
To this day talks about them.
Were those the guys that had the psychedelic pants that were like way overly tight?
Them,
and you could see, you know, the blood rock sausage kind of thing. But you know what? Honestly, those guys were killer. And they had an awesome look to them.
They are
right, and they were slinging merch everywhere.
But they were, it was a great night.
Wait, mate, what was your name again?
And the hair, right?
Dead Levy.
Dead Levy.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Great band. Yeah, I had the privilege of working that show. I did their lighting, and it was exactly what Leon and Ringo were talking about. It was an amazing show. Great band.
Yeah, they were great.
I'm excited to see what you do with them.
In fact, the other bands that were on, I can't even remember who the other bands were, but these guys got so much of attention when they came back to the bar. People were all over them, right? And it was like, headliner who? Right. So I don't know who played that night. Who was headlining?
I actually don't remember.
I can't even remember, because it was like here these guys by the soundboard, right? And it's like, wait, wow, those are nice pants. So
great, and they were all awesome bunch of dudes.
They
too.
were
They were a
excellent.
real bunch of nice guys.
That's the thing. They humped it way over here from the West Coast, and they're like, or not West Coast, but Alberta, I guess, or wherever.
Yeah, Regina.
That's out there.
Yeah.
It's out there.
Oh, that's Saskatchewan.
Regina. Was it Regina?
Yeah, they're from Regina.
Yeah. That's where the term sloppy beef curtains came from, too, I think. But that's an Avenged Sevenfold. That was from Avenged Sevenfold. You have to watch. Yeah, anyway. But great band.
So many cool bands like just emerging and coming forward, which I'm super proud of, boys, because it's like, I think to myself before this all sort of took off in March, I'm really loving. There's more bands I should mention that are actually coming through through applying themselves, doing some mentorship. Now the songs are great, and we're going to bring them through, and it has to happen. There's guys like me and Johnny with Dead Levy. There's Cone with some from Sum 41 with the Fallaways.
Another great band, the Fallaways.
I'm working with another guy, Charlie. He doesn't have a band name yet, and he's just turned 20. And the guy's he's insane. He's 20. He's 20.
Well, tell him Blood Rock Sausage is open.
No, I trademarked that name already. But you know what? Just call him like, "Where's Charlie?" Right? Where's Charlie?
Exactly. Where's Charlie?
There's another guy I'm working with. Another band at the moment. They're Reckless 4, but everything's sort of evolving to other things. But he's he's got one of the best voices I've ever freaking heard, and it's a country thing, and it's like I've been even helping him write songs in a country format, and I love it. It's challenging me. It's so
good. That's cool because
that's wicked.
Even there, if you have somebody particular that you're working with and you love their music and you want to get it out there, you can use the Heikadelic show, and we can play a tune or 100%. A video or something.
He's totally plugging it. Actually, seeing Heiko's just throwing it out there, dude. You ever want any of your boys on here, you let us know.
Yeah,
we'll put them on.
We should structure like a release thing through here. We can do the band 100%. And do a feature.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it's sick.
That'd be great.
Right.
That'd be great.
100%, dude.
Leon,
that's why we're here.
As long as you grill them as much as me, I love it.
Okay. I was going to mention it to you after the show. Politically correct. Heiko's like, "Fuck this shit. We're live. Let's do this. This is what we want to do." That a boy, Heiko.
And that's what I appreciate about you.
That's what I appreciate.
Yeah, so we'll do that up, Leon, and maybe what we can do as well is
I'd love that.
Normally we would charge for this sort of thing, but the
sorry,
we'll put you up as on.
Name your price, boys. Name your price.
None of us can keep a straight face.
Honestly,
that was the best part.
Just talk to my people.
Yeah, right. Our people are literally on the screen right now, so you're good.
Yeah, it's all good. Well, you know what?
Right.
I want to throw something out there. I want to say something because tonight's show has been really good, and we've all brought up some really good points.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to throw this back a couple of years because we talked about Napster, we talked about albums, we talked about a lot of stuff. And I think a huge onus on the music industry today is to the fan. The fan has to love their music and do something about it. And I'm going to throw this back a couple of years. People used to hate Napster. I loved Napster because I could go on there and I could search stuff and I could find bands that were like other bands. And I found music on Napster and I got to listen to it. Now, there's bands there that I loved that I've never heard of and that would never been playing on radio or any other ways. I found them there. Now, as a fan, I would go out once a year, down like Mr. Johnny told us. He said down at Sam the Record Man, I made my list, and I brought buddies with me because I went to Sam the Record Man, and I bought so many fucking albums on Boxing Day, I had to bring friends to help me carry them back to the car. And that's how I used to support my bands.
That's
I
sick.
I used that kind of technology to find out what I liked, who I liked, new things I never knew that existed, and then I would buy them and support my band. And that's the kind of mentality I want our fans to have, music fans in general, and put it into today's society with our multimedia and our internet, and support the people we want to listen to. And that will make
100%.
things right. Don't you agree?
100%. I will add this though, Heiko, as far as all that concerned, like the whole Napster thing was a nightmare back in the day. But as far as Napster's concerned today, they now have a new streaming site that actually pays more royalties to the artists, and it's nobody even knows about it now. And they actually are the up and comers. They've switched their shit around. They're fixing it all. And I will say this: I think
it's called a Napster Redemption or something like that.
Is that what it's called now? And I agree with you, Heiko. And this is the unfortunate thing about the listeners and the people that care about the music. Not all of us, or not all of them, are like you and I. I usually would use YouTube, and I still to this day, and how I roll, or how I always rolled, was I'd find a band on YouTube. You know how you punch in something, you get all the shit down the side of bands that are like close to what you're doing or what you're listening to. So many bands I would find that way. And what I would do is I would go out and buy their entire catalog. And I can't show you from this angle, but my fucking CD collection here is ridiculous.
I've seen it. Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? And that's how I roll. Right. And now being in the position I'm in, knowing artists like Leon and so many other great artists, I can promote them on so many different levels that a lot of people don't have. Right. But this is what everyone needs to do: is they need to go out and actually support the artist. Enough with stealing music and shit. Nobody's going to survive on that.
Okay, so we've established that the fans, the consumers, need to support bands they like. That's a given, right? Don't steal the shit. Support it. Donate, whatever, but support the bands. Okay.
Buy merch.
But the bands have an obligation as well. You just don't push music out or play it in your garage. Get it out there, package it, and then get it distributed. But here's something that Motley Crue, that movie that was out recently, kind of The Dirt. It was pretty cool, I thought. But anyway,
I loved it.
When they're all sitting around, okay, and I want every band that's listening out there, think about this for a second, okay? You watch the crew, they're sitting around burning roaches off the floor, okay, because they're paying their dues, but they're jamming. They're in the jam phase, right? So they finish jamming. So now they're trying to think of their band name, and they come up with the Motley Crue. Great. So that it resonates if you're a musician back in that day. All right, that was an exciting moment. It was like a marriage, right? All of a sudden you've designed your band logo. Then what you did was you went and you got some satin and some paint and you built out your banner for the band, and you made a fucking drum skin. Let me ask you, if you're a band out there right now, how many of you guys or girls have done that? Like, you don't put the effort. This is not about, you got to get out and do active marketing for your band. And if that means taking some paint and putting it on some kind of a banner, do it. Like, get out there. Don't have the arrogance that, you know what, you put out some stuff that you think is good. If you think it's good, it's probably not. You need to get your fans to respond. The only way to do that is get it out there. And do your active marketing and do it well, because it's not a snowflake business. You can't do it from playing video games all day. Video games, go back to jamming. Bullshit. Get your ass 100%. Out and hump tickets. Get your friend list on Facebook and whatever. Get it built, right?
He's right.
Go to Bandwagon, and if you really want to see if your shit, is great, flip a CD to Leon after you've packaged it, after you've built your friend, your socials and all of that, and you got your marketing package together, because it's not just about.
It's a lot of hard work being in a band that people don't realize.
The whole thing with my issue with tech is because when Ringo, you raise a lot of great points there, mate.
Yes, yes, he does.
Always.
As tech
Fuck off.
as tech continues to ravage, like, you know, that's all kids are thinking about now is tech. That's our marketing platform. There are many others to make a difference. And to be honest, with guys like me coming through, and even guys younger than me that I know, that mentality is always going to be in the music industry. It's never going to switch solely to tech. So if you go out there and fucking make a scene, you will be noticed, because there's a lot of other people fucking scoping out stuff
because
that you just mentioned.
Tech does not have smell-o-vision yet. When you can go to a concert, or you're doing a concert or a show, right, and the audience is close enough to smell you, then that's the real deal. You're there, right? Or you're out on the street selling tickets.
The culture at the moment, man, is that tech is the way. Like, it doesn't fucking matter about all that sort of stuff. But
right. There's something that's missing from that, though, and I know you're going to agree with this, Leon, 100%. What's missing from tech, they can make tech as great as they want, but what's missing is the fucking live energy that you will never, ever get unless you're in person in the fucking venue with the band. They can never recreate that. I don't care how big your fucking speakers are. It's not the same. It's just not the same, because it's not just the energy from the band. It's the energy from the fans retracting back and forth. You can't recreate that. It's that simple.
Right.
And that's the one thing I always
go ahead.
That's the one thing I always said too about my favorite band, is their stage energy is insane. They just light that room up when they go on that stage and start playing, and it eats you up.
All great bands do that.
That's what's gone. This
100%.
little, what we're doing now, the pictures and that, and everyone's got an instrument and playing, it's not there. It's not there.
Dude, I've worked lazy shows. The last 2 shows they played at the hall, and I'm not pumping tires or anything, Leon, because you know I love you, brother. But the reality of it is, Leon's band, the Lazies, they bring so much energy when they're on fucking stage. They explode. And everybody in that room goes not just fucking on stage, crazy. Well, exactly. But
we've heard the farting tonight.
You know what I'm saying. It's the honest to God truth. I've done your lighting the last 2 times you played with us. And I remember the first time I ever did your lighting, and I was flabbergasted by the show, because I had met you not that long before. And then you guys got up, and I remember Matty coming out to the middle of the room. He walked through holding his fucking guitar up in the end, up in his hands, through a packed house. And the balconies were like people hanging over, like, fuck yeah. And he walked up onto this table that had a fucking, literally, like the spine of the table was like going around, and stood on it and just shredded like a motherfucker. And
you know what? Thank you for saying that. Like, I just want to add one thing, because I never really ever think about stuff with the band, because it's always been like you got to do your job. But geez, there must be some amazing memories and things that a Lazy Show's brought that, like, you just told one. I never even think about, man, and I never even see.
It's all in the background. You were on stage. He walked out and did this amazing show. And
I'm probably taking a drink of fucking whiskey or something and not even watching that, because it's every night. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing was, the next time you guys played, what we did, because I was terrified the whole time. I was like, fuck, don't let that tape, I don't want him to fall off. And he killed it. It was brilliant. The next time I remember you guys played, which was in last October, a year ago, this past October. I remember sitting before the show with Maddie going, dude, we need to work something out, because I don't want you standing on the fucking table again. That scared the shit out of me. It was brilliant, but I don't want anything to happen to you. So we come up with this idea. We had this road case. We pulled it right to the booth, the lighting and soundboard, and we stood it up, and he came back and did that. So literally his ass was like right here in my face. Well, he fucking shredded, but I'm like, I know he's fucking safe, but it's still killer. You know what I mean? Man. It was
a win-win for you there, Terry.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. I was thinking about the boys.
My next question would have been, Terry sporting a little chubby there. So
sorry about that.
But on that show, Leon, the thing is with that show as well, like I got involved with booking Annie Queens and Johnny No Cash, equally very energetic. You saw them, right? They're incredible. Now, they wouldn't have been on that stage, honestly. Terry and I followed those guys at Atria and stuff like that, and some other things. But what was cool was I listened to them all summer long. They were doing a U.S. tour, and they were just the Andy Queens. And Andy Queens were tearing it up, and then they got their shot at going to Europe and everything else. So they did all of that before they played that show. And Johnny No Cash, same deal, tearing it up. Went to Europe, went to Germany, and then they got back, and I'm like, hey, you guys want to do the show? We're in, right? And Andy Queens, I talked to their manager Matthew, and he was like so down on it, right? The minute he heard the Lazies were playing, he's like, we're in. We don't care. In fact, they had another show booked, which they canceled to do that show. So you guys, like, obviously the band name resonated to both those bands, but they were so pumped. And
that's great.
You know, I did a little extra on their rider and got them better beers than you guys got. But but
blame Ed for that. Fuck him.
But the idea, like Terry and I were talking about it. It's like, you know, we need to treat these guys like rock stars, right? So they came out and gave it their all, and that was what sellout night.
Show.
You know, it
was
so awesome. But
I love the music hall. In fact, like, check this out. Oh, where is it? Here it is.
Oh, you got the sweater.
It's my only jumper.
Yeah, I remember when Ed gave you that. Yeah.
You know, I still haven't got one, by the way. But
we don't care.
Ed only gives them to his favorites.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a little hurtful.
Do you remember Ed punching that bag, Terry?
We'll do a whole nother show on that.
You know, the Atria, there's that punching bag.
Oh, the punch machine at the Atria. I still laugh about that to this day.
I got like about 700, and I was like, "Hey, Ed."
And Ed missed it twice in a row.
Went up and
you got 700.
Yeah, I got 700. Ed got 41 or 43.
Yeah,
he barely hit it.
He hit it with his elbow.
Domestic violence. He can't hit.
Well, we knew a guy over there that his thumb was so overdeveloped.
Yeah,
he kept
hit
breaking
the wrong
it.
part. He broke his finger.
He kept breaking it and spraining it. So his thumb had a whole head there, right? So,
wow.
Yeah, but he would hit it and he would like roll the numbers on it, right? It would go 999 or whatever it was. So,
man, it's a tough machine, but you know, with arms like these boys.
George, do you have any more trivia left, or are we done on that one?
Yeah. No, I've got some more, but you just mentioned Europe there. I'd be interested to know, like, what Leon, like, which countries in Europe have you toured? You mentioned Germany.
All of them.
Where else?
Yeah, we've done. In Europe, we've done France, Germany, Austria, Switzerland.
Wow.
Italy, Spain. There'd be probably others.
That's really awesome, man.
That's drunk the whole time.
Brilliant.
That's really good.
Belgium, Czech Republic.
I remember the
Czech Republic. Yeah.
And then up to UK as well now. So we've done all around the UK.
Leon wasn't joking. That year, you literally, when you said you played so much, you weren't joking, dude. I remember because you went across Canada, and then you, I think, I'm trying to remember how this all worked. You went one way Canada. I don't know if you went the other way, and then you went to Europe, and then came back and did Canada. It was fucked. I remember sitting there going, holy fuck, they're still going.
I was like getting to the point in airports where I wanted to like fucking bash other people's kids.
Right.
Just be like, right? And then dad would get really mad at me for like a minute, and then he'd be like, "You fucking legend. Get out of here."
And I remember the best part of that is I remember you telling me the stories about your dad, and your dad is one epic dude, man. Because Leon was telling Ed and I one day about how he took it, like his dad literally went on the road with these guys.
He toured with you?
He toured with them,
he's
man.
been on tour.
Wow.
Yeah,
how old's your dad right now, Leon? How old's your dad right now?
68.
Right?
It's a big year next year, boys. It's a big year.
Party with these lads.
That's awesome.
I fucking loved it.
That's freaking awesome.
I still love the story you were telling us about the time. I wasn't at the hall at this point, but I think it was earlier shows, and you had your dad out, and you were all paranoid about how he showed up and dressed. And then you were like, put our band shirt on. It was brilliant. And then you showed us a picture, and I was dying. It was absolutely awesome.
Oh no!
All right.
My dad got a little bit comfortable with the touring. Like when he first came on the road, he used to dress sharp, like full, like, you know, denim jacket, all that sort of stuff. And then it started to decline in his image, and that's when he came to Canada, and he thought he was Mr. Big Shot, and he had this like tablecloth shirt on, which I was like, "What are you wearing that for?" That's fucked. And then he put on a triple XL lazy shirt over it, so it was almost like a fucking night.
A nightgown? Nice.
Yeah, and I was like, Dad, you've got one chance to redeem yourself. Fucking mate, this is terrible.
All right, we're gonna go over to George and wrap
Do
up
the
on
trivia.
some trivia, and then we're gonna come back for any last words with Leon and
Yeah.
call it a night.
Yeah.
Well, okay. What you want to do? You don't do all of them. We'll save a couple for next week. But
Okay.
here we go with our threesome, right?
Perfect.
What have these got in common? These three bands. AC/DC, especially for Leon, because he's mentioned them about a dozen times tonight. Heart and the Black Crows.
Ooh.
What do they have in common?
Yeah. What do they have in common?
Any ideas?
A 4-beat.
Black Crows, Heart, and AC/DC.
They're all electric.
They all have members that are
Girls that are female?
No, well, I don't
They're
think there's
all
any
from,
females in AC/DC.
Oh, I thought the one guy was a chick. Oh,
They have
damn.
members
Okay.
that started on Bandwagon.
I was going to say Van Halen as well. Right, they would fall into this category as well.
So they all. What was the clue there, George?
Well,
They all
they're
played with Zeppelin?
No, all these bands have members that are
Members,
I don't know.
We've got
Members that
AC/DC.
died.
members that died.
I don't think so.
I think
Yeah,
God.
well,
Not all
probably
of them.
every.
Oh, that's
Members
a good
that-
question. I might use that one next week. But anyway,
Members
They all
that like
did Zeppelin
stout beer?
no.
covers.
No.
No. Give us
Wow.
another hint there, buddy.
Okay, well, you've got Malcolm and Angus Young in AC/DC, right?
They're all
siblings. Siblings.
They all
Siblings.
have siblings in the band.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Black Crows, Chris
Can we play
Robinson,
some
and
Triumph music? Dun, dun,
the Wilson
dun,
sisters,
dun, dun,
and
dun, dun,
the Young
dun.
Brothers. There you go. It's dead
Okay,
easy,
so-
really. It's a lot easier than you think.
So, Leon, any last words before we wrap?
No. No, thanks for having me. Love all of you. I love that you take the time to talk to me about what's happening, which is great. And I would love to also reassure you guys that the bandwagon releases. Let's get them on the Heikadelic show.
Yes,
And,
for sure.
Yeah, that'd be very, very cool to.
Dude,
have that
anytime.
avenue.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Let us know. Hook us up. We will have them on the show.
See, and that's the one thing I'll always remember is when I had my show, I had the boys on one night, and we played a song from Tears of a Deity live on the air,
My band.
and we had somebody call in from Sweden and say,
Nice.
"Where can I get your music? I love it." And the look on Terry's face that night was amazing because he goes, "Oh my
Right.
God, somebody from Sweden loves my music." And
That's
this is what we love to do. We want to get the music out there so people can hear it, people can love it, and start supporting their bands.
Not gonna lie, I probably touched myself that night.
So,
Oh, you have to spoil the moment.
George, it looks like Kathy got the siblings thing.
Yeah,
So
saw that. Yeah, well done,
You can
Kathy.
give her your big horn.
Oh, the 7-inch one?
No, the whatever he
lost
does. It's the goal horn.
Oh yeah.
This-
I'll
there it is.
remember
There we
always. It's 1 inch. It's like Leon said. It's 1 inch more than it really is.
We're so professional.
right.
I mean, come on, man. If I'm going to say, am I 5'8" or am I 5'9"? I'm 5'9".
Yeah. Perfect.
What's the difference, really? It's just a number, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I tell them all.
After the
Prepare for disappointment. That usually follows.
Sex camel.
You
Oh, Terry, what I got out of tonight is that your new nickname is the sex camel.
oh,
Yes.
God. Oh no.
I'm getting shirts made tomorrow.
All right.
You just have to add one word to that, Terry, and it's with
It's
yourself.
it's
The
gotta have
sex
a
with
slogan.
yourself, camel.
It's not the size of the dick, it's the size of the hump. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Exactly.
It's not how big your worm is, it's how you wiggle it, right?
Oh,
I just-
Jesus, guys. What the hell?
Usually it's not small. It's just worn out from use.
Okay. All right. So
right.
Heiko,
Let's
bring us
come
out.
All right.
All right,
Next time I
boys.
come on the show, boys. Honestly, next time I should come on the show, his
Yeah.
display name, Terry's display name has to be Sex Camel.
I'll
All right.
do it. I promise, brother. I'll
It's-
do it. Just
It's
remind
going to
me.
happen.
Wait a minute.
And you, Leon, go and see if you can find a band or someone that you want to throw on here sometime soon. We're gonna make
We
this
already
work.
know them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I already know.
Yeah,
Awesome.
me
Awesome.
too.
So-
Hang on
I-
one sec, Heiko. Let's just get a layout here for Terry.
A layout.
There you go.
Wow.
Sex with myself, cat.
Oh my God. Nice. Sex with myself, camel. You gotta love that, eh?
So that's
That's
the
not
name
what we
going forward.
agreed with, by the way. Go fuck yourself.
That's got a couple extra words in it, but whatever. Okay.
It's a tongue twister, Terry.
Ah.
No, it's not. It's a go fuck yourself.
Say
twist.
that. Okay,
That
say that fast times. Sex
Yeah.
with myself,
Say that fast times. You can't even get it.
Say that 5 times fast.
There you go. Now you got it.
You've already lost, Ringo. Fuck you.
Holy shit.
Well, at least it doesn't.
So,
Okay.
Leon, after tonight, do you want to be back on our show again or what?
Oh yeah, of course.
You're always
Oh.
welcome back,
How
brother.
could I
Yeah.
say no?
Anytime,
That was
brother.
the last-
I'd love
Yeah.
to come back.
Okay.
I'll bring you some cool bands. I reckon it's a good launch pad.
I think
Yeah.
it's wonderful. It's a great idea.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. So
And
yeah,
George,
I've loved
thank-
being here
thank-
tonight.
Yeah. Thanks for all your trivia, George. You always rock this place. It's wonderful.
I had more.
Yeah.
I don't have to do as much for next week now. It's great.
And
Yeah.
I think I've tripped
I love
out
it.
that watch a few times. I'm like,
We're always
I
anxious.
also want to
for folks.
thank our fans behind the scenes who are always watching the show. I want to thank Kathy, Derek, Bobby C, Cherie, Keisha, who actually complained because she sent a couple of messages in that never got displayed or talked about. But I know
I did see her, and Ringo was behind tonight. We had a busy show. I
Yeah.
get it. He's
yeah,
dealing.
we are. We
Yeah,
had a great busy show tonight.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
apologize.
Mr. Ringo, our producer, it's okay. You had lots on your plate tonight. And we had Brandon, Ken, Ryan, Ian, Diane. The show wouldn't be anything without you guys being a part of it. So it's freaking awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thanks
love
a
it.
lot for listening.
Thanks for all your hard work, Ringo and Terry. And we're going to have you guys back again on the show. And there's one thing I got to say to you, Leon. To Leon, one thing I got to say, go mute yourself, you bastard. All right. You guys all tune
See you
in
in the
next
green room.
Monday night to the Heikadelic Show, Monday nights at 9:30 here on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever else how you want to see us. Thanks, guys.
Well, that's another wrap for the Heikadelic Show, folks. So time to get dirty. And don't forget, listen in next week on Monday night and every Monday after that for the Heikadelic Show at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like more information on the Heikadelic Show, please find us at www.theheikedelicshow.com or .ca. We'll see you all next week on the Heikadelic Show. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor for the Heikadelic Show, it's easy. Just send us an email at info@theheikadelicshow.com. Meanwhile, you can browse our website at www.theheikadelicshow.com or .ca. Click on our sponsor tab and find out more information on sponsorships. Thanks for joining the Heikadelic Show, fans.